Guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to talk about the most important business insight you need for riches. So this insight is actually something that was found by myself as well too, and by like looking at the market and by a lot of people way more successful than I am that have already confirmed this, and I'm just bringing this to light in my own version essentially. And it's very funny because a lot of people always tell me that there's never that one thing. You should stop asking for the one thing. You always need to ask for multiple things because like there's never been that one thing that made someone succeed, and there's never been that, because there's always like multiple things that you kind of learn as you're going on your journey. But I feel like if anyone understands this literal one thing, I guarantee you, if you understand this like super well, there's no reason why you won't be rich once you apply this, because it's ridiculously underlooked, and it's something that we do every day but we haven't actually realized it. It's kind of like algebra. Like we do algebra literally almost every single day, but when we were actually taught it, we were like, wait, this doesn't make any sense, until we actually had to like apply it to what we were doing before, and they were like, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. But see, some people algebra doesn't still make sense to them, but that's a different topic. That's a different story. But I get a lot of people asking me like, hey, what's this number one thing you need to learn in order to do X? What's the number one thing you've learned in order to do X? And everyone is always obsessed with that one thing, and that's completely fine, because to be honest, it's smart to look for insights that will save you some time in the long run. Because some people might think to themselves like, oh, I need to find out this before I start doing this, because I don't want to waste time and I don't want to waste money. And that makes a lot of sense, because as humans, we are literally fundamentally lazy. I don't care what anyone tells you. I don't care what that productivity coach tells you. I don't care what that YouTube video told you. We are productively programmed to be lazy, because energy is not something that comes out of nowhere from the sky. You can't just make energy out of nowhere. Like it's impossible. Like that's the thing. Like I don't know where I learned this from, but energy is the one thing that cannot be created nor destroyed. You can't just poof it out of nowhere. So humans are made to be fundamentally lazy. So if anyone asks this question, it's not because it is because they're lazy, but you shouldn't also slag them off for it, because that's literally how we're built. We always look for the simplest step, and that makes a lot of sense. And when people were asking me this question, I was just like, wait, this makes no sense. Why are you asking me one thing? Because there's always multiple things. But until I learned this one thing, when I internalized it, I was just like, wow, this is insane. And I'm gonna share with you guys. So my name is Mahis. I'm the owner of Webful, and we specialize in helping coaches and consultants grow their audiences by 100% every 90 days. And I'm going to tell you why growing your audience is the most important part and the most important thing you need to leverage when you want to build a business for riches. So, attention. Surprise, surprise. People's eyeballs is the number one important insight you need in order to get to where you want to be. I heard this from a coach where he shared this insight he found like from a podcast, and Pete is very, very interesting, because I'm actually going to flip your whole perspective on how businesses actually start. So when people actually want to start businesses, the mistake people make is that they look at everything upside down. So this is actually like the modern way to look at the businesses now, because stuff is kind of diverted from how it was like a couple of years ago. And I won't say a couple of years ago, maybe centuries ago. Everything's kind of diverted now, and this is the way you actually need to be looking at this. So when people want to start businesses, everyone thinks to themselves, okay, I need to find my niche, I need to find my sales argument, I need to find my offer, I need to find a perfect offer, I need to find a good website, I need to know how to deliver the service, I need to know all these like different things. And once they've learned all of this stuff, once they've built everything out, they have like the perfect infrastructure ready, then they're like, okay, let's start getting people to look at my business. And that's like the wrong way you actually could look at it when you want to start a business, because when you think about it, the people that are like really successful with businesses right now, they didn't look at it the way that you looked at it right now. And some people are like some exceptions, but like most of the time is completely different. I'm going to show you some actual examples. So let me explain this amazing diagram I made in like 2 seconds. So the levels to look at when you want to start a business. The first level, there's actually 3. There's number 1 is traffic. The second one is more traffic. And then the third part is everything else. Everything else being your website, your sales argument, your offer, your pictures, your appointment setters, everything else that comes with the whole system of the business. That's everything else. That's what you have to look at when you want to start a business. And the reason why is because it's actually the hardest part to start generating attention. It's actually the hardest part to get more traffic. It's not hard to find appointment setters. It's not hard to find closers. It's not hard to find a good offer. You just have to look at the market and you have to be observant. It's not hard to find any of these things, because the hardest part is actually finding the people and finding the attention for all these type of stuff. And people always leave this part as the last thing, as the last step, as like, oh, I'll figure this out later on. And that's actually the worst way to do it, because how are you going to actually generate attention? And I see a lot of people that have these amazing sites, they have the amazing offers, they're like the smartest people in the world, and they always lose to people that have worse stuff than them. Like, you might have like a way better product and a way better offer and a way better service and a way better delivery and a way better promise to your customers, but the person who doesn't have any of that stuff implemented, that has none of that, is doing way better than you. And you're struggling in your head thinking to, oh, maybe this niche is saturated, maybe I'm not doing this right. You're not looking outside yourself, in a sense, because you've looked a lot into yourself, but then you don't want to look outside that. And that's the reason a lot of people actually fail, because they didn't generate enough attention, they didn't create enough eyeballs. Because if you have all of that, you can sell literally anything, guys. And I'm gonna prove to you, if that wasn't enough for you, or like, you know, your own maybe ego or something like that, I'm gonna actually prove to you how this actually works. And Science and Common Sense actually proves this, which is pretty funny. So before I get into that, if you're really enjoying this video, if you're getting a lot of value, a sub will really appreciate it. Check out my social channels as well too, that would be also really appreciated. So let's get back into it. So look at an example of Kim Kardashian. Is she the smartest businesswoman out there? Maybe not. Does she have the best makeup products? Maybe not. Does she have an amazing offer or service that transforms lives? Does she like completely change who you are when you buy her like her eyelash or her mascara? Does that completely change who you are? I don't think so. Does she know the best sales strategy in the world to sell products? Does she have like a whole team of just closers and like the best infrastructure, the best script, the best pricing packages? Does she have everything, all of that stuff in place to sell her products? No. I'll tell you what she has though. She has 332 million followers, and we don't. And that's literally the whole difference. That's the biggest difference, that people know, but they don't actually know. And what I mean by actually know, they don't actually internalize this. They don't actually sit down and like, wait, this is what I need. They don't think about it. They're just like, oh yeah, she's doing better because she has more followers than me. But like, then why do you never like think to yourself and be like, okay, maybe I should actually get some more attention? Because that's the only reason why she's doing better than you. She just has more attention. And it's such a simple concept to manage, to grasp, but people don't grasp it, because people, they understand the concept, they understand why, but they don't actually understand why. And I'm gonna explain to you, I'm explaining why this is the case. And when I said science actually proves this, is actually a really good article that talked about how attention works. It's ridiculously long. I don't know if you guys are gonna not a really good article, really good book, and it's a really good book. And it talks about, it's not necessarily business, it's just like in general stuff, and it's actually a really good book, and I would recommend this because it has a lot of proven stuff. But essentially what this means is that if you have attention, you basically have everything you need in order to get to where you want to be. And the best part about this is, like, if you are in this case that you have like better products, you have better offers, you have the best sales strategy, once you get to this point where you have this amount of followers, you're gonna have way more money than Kim Kardashian has at that point, because you know how to use that audience more effectively. So that's why there's people that have like 5,000 subscribers that are literally making more than people that have like 200k subscribers. And you might think to yourself like, oh, but these guys have less but they make more money. It's not because like they have an audience, that's obviously, and they're generating attention, maybe not as much attention as the other person is, but they have a system that knows how to leverage the attention that they're getting and convert that attention. That's why the traffic comes first, and then your systems and everything else comes after, because like you're gonna spend too much time trying to figure out everything else. So why not just figure out the traffic first, because traffic doesn't necessarily change in a sense. Figure it out and then start optimizing and tweaking everything in your thing, and you're just gonna get better and better and better, instead of doing it the other way around where you have to figure everything out first and then you start looking for traffic. That's gonna kill you, because you're never going to figure everything out. You're always going to be constantly changing. But traffic is something that doesn't necessarily change that much. There's always different ways to get traffic. It's just how you utilize it. So once you've learned how to actually utilize people's eyeballs, then you can go into crafting the best offer, crafting the best sales strategy, crafting everything. And that's how you can get to the point where you can have, let's say, like 5,000 followers, but still make way more money than someone that has 100,000 followers. And it might seem crazy, but I've literally seen it. I've seen this happen. And it's literally because these guys have figured out how to get the attention, and now they know how to convert the attention they're getting into money. And like I said earlier before too, you might have realized this inside, but you haven't actually doubled down on this, because you might dread the fact that, you know, you have better stuff than Kim Kardashian, you have better makeup products than Kim Kardashian, but you're not actually getting better results than Kim Kardashian because you haven't figured out the first part, which is generating attention. And generating attention is literally something you already know, like internally, because that's the reason why you buy ads. That's the reason why you post online. That's the reason why you pay for appointment status. It's literally every single online reason that you're doing, that you're getting your word out there. Every single thing that you're doing to push yourself out there is for the internal reason that you know that attention is going to get you to where you want to be. But people don't actually double down on this and realize how important that is. So that's why I actually think this might be a brag or anything. That's why I think probably one of my business model, which is where I help people grow their audience and get more attention, is probably like the best thing that I could sell, because I am literally selling the thing that's going to make them money, and which is attention, people's eyeballs. If I can't promise any sort of like money or anything like that, I can promise attention. And with attention, you know exactly what to do with it, because it's everything. Once you have that in place, you know how people are going to come through, you know how people are going to spend money, you know how people are going to just jump into your products. You have all the infrastructure in place, all the time you spend looking at the best sales argument and looking at the best appointment status, all that type of stuff. You have that in place now. So now all you need is the traffic, and that's where we come in. That's where we come in. Make sure that your content is getting seen. Make sure people are actually knowing exactly what you're doing. Then that's where you get to that extra level, because once you get to that point, trust me, life is just so easy. And I know for a fact I can get my clients to that point, because I figured out the system on how to generate attention. And if I wanted to share it in this video, it will take too long, because I don't want to make this an hour-long video. But if you want to have a 30-minute call where I can discuss you and walk you through this process of how I would actually apply attention for your company in order to get you to where you want to be, then the first link in the description, you can actually book a call with me, and then we can go over this whole process of how you can get attention and how you can get people coming through your page without you figuring out anything, without you having to figure out the best sales argument, the best ad copy, the best anything. You're just getting people coming through. And once people come through, trust me, you'll figure out what you need to do, because it's just a given. I think that was a really good way to end this off. But yeah, if you found a lot of value in this video, please make sure to leave a sub, leave a comment as well too. Like I said before, first link in the description, book a call with me. Let's go over how we can generate attention for your company and your business, or coaching or consultancy. Let's figure out how we can do that, and I'll walk you through a process of how you can apply it specifically for your business. And the call will be on me as well too, so we can actually chat about some cool stuff and learn some cool things. Anyways, that's basically it. Have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll speak very soon.